Alright guys, something a little different up for sale. This one will be on roostercb.com under used and special items. Kenwood TS2000 HF rig, AM sideband. Tons and tons of features on it. I do not have a manual for it, but if you're unfamiliar with this radio and you decide to buy it, I would recommend purchasing a manual for it. That way you can become familiar with the controls of it. You may not even have to purchase one. There might be one available for download if you just search Google. But they've got lots and lots of features. AM sideband, rated at a 100 watt PEP rig is what they're rated at. Very popular radio. They maintain their value pretty well. New, I think they're around $2,500, and still today they sell for $1,200 to $1,500. I'm gonna sell this one cheaper. This one will be sub 1,000 bucks. I'm gonna make somebody a deal on it, what I feel like is a good deal. But it's hard to find these less than $1,200. Now you can find them parts or not working for $600-700 bucks. But good working ones, generally, even in rougher condition, they bring $1,000 plus. So we're gonna make somebody a deal on this one. Sell it cheaper. Does come with the original mic. If you're gonna run it on AM, I definitely suggest upgrading the mic. These aren't the best for AM. They do fairly well on sideband, but not the most, not the greatest mic for AM. I'm not gonna get into all the controls of this thing, or we would spend probably an hour doing this video. The main thing is checking the output on it, making sure it receives. Check the output on AM and sideband and give it a clean bill of health and try to point out anything that I see that's wrong with it. One thing I will point out, this knob down here, I didn't notice it when I got it. It has been chipped off, so I'm not sure how available replacement knobs are for this radio. I mean, you can't see it as long as it's turned back that way. So something I could have easily overlooked. But if you turn the knob up, you will see that it has been chipped. So that is the major imperfection with this thing. It does run off a power supply, even though it's considered a base radio. They do run off of 12 volts, 14 volts, whatever. I would recommend at least a 20 amp power supply. Probably go ahead and get a 50 amp just to give yourself some headroom. I think Kenwood sold an optional power supply with it when it came out. But today, we're just running on the Fat Boy here. I never thought I'd see a HF rig with a talkback feature, but you can see it says TX monitoring over here. And this thing actually does have what we would call a talkback in the CB world. To turn that on, you just come over here where it says TX monitor. You've got a function button that switches between the two. So this one is for your power, your RF power. Watch me turn the wrong knob, bump the VFO knob. So you just hit this and then hit function and then hit it again, and you see it changes it to TX monitor. And you've got a knob over here that says multi. This is basically just a multi-function knob, and then you can just turn it off and then go back to power if you want to adjust the power. Why do I keep touching the VFO knob? I'm in a bad habit of doing that. On AM, you can go from 5 up to 25. On sideband, let's see, you can go from 0 to 100, or 5 to 100. So the 100 is supposed to be 100 watts PEP, basically. And then on AM, the 25 may actually be 25 watts of carrier. What do you know? It is. I didn't really think about that, but that makes sense. So, just to show you guys on AM here, we've got the 100 watt slug in here, 100 watt element, bottom scale. So that's right at 25 watts. So the radio is pretty accurate as far as power levels go. They won't do hardly anything on average. They basically just stand still or back up just a little bit. PEP though, AM, TEP, audio. Between 75 and 80 watts PEP on AM from that 20 watt or 25 watt carrier. And then sideband, we've got the power all the way up. We'll go back to PEP. Hello, audio. just a little bit past 100 watts PEP. Now, out of curiosity, if you guys do want to know what this thing draws, 15 amps. Like I said, 20 amp power supply will get you by. But for the money, you might as well go ahead and buy a 50. We'll go back to AM, and we'll just key up the Cobra 90, show you it receives. Let's put it on the right channel. Hello, 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 audio. Let's see. Let's see, make sure I got everything turned up right on here. Check, check, audio. Check, check, audio. Hello. My mic's bad on my Cobra 90, but hello, audio, check 1 2, audio. Mic's trying to crackle up on my 90 a little bit when I was stretching it out there, but it does receive, as you guys can see, dummy load to dummy load. So not a bad working radio at all. You can turn it by channels over here, larger increments. If you disable the function key over here, like if you just put this back to normal, this just works as a channel selector basically and changes it in larger increments. So not a bad radio. Worst thing about it, the chip on the knob down here, but still a pretty nice radio. Kenwood TS2000. Multiple antenna jacks on the back of it. You can run several different antennas. Has a preamp, has a receive attenuator to pad your receive down. Lots of the features that are on the brand new HF rigs, this guy has, and it's a little bit older. So nice radio. I've also got a 590 SG that I'm gonna be selling soon, but figured we'd go ahead and do a video on the TS2000 first. All right, thanks guys. Questions, comments, shoot me a text, 423-299-3535, Rooster in Tennessee. See you, bye.